Too many people, this is the best day of Thanksgiving week, and it's Black Friday. I already got a text, Jordan, from both my mom and my step grandma that they are shopping, asking what I wanted.
Oh, heck
Um,
yeah.
Happy Black Friday.
Happy Black
Um,
Friday. And today's the day I think Christmas lists need to go out, right? Is that what today is for? People start asking what you want, you start asking what people want and
it's
gonna
odd for
figure out
me. Like
and begin the planning.
we just said my birthday was just a couple days ago, so it's always weird for me because I get them one after another. Um, we are definitely going to talk about the I do want the Dolphins playoff run, absolutely, Bobby. And I am banking on it. I had us losing one game, but I think we do make it interesting, especially if you watch that Baltimore Cincy game last night. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I had the Lions money line to begin the day, which made me a little unhappy. And I'll be completely frank. At that point, I had a little beer and it started turning into a little bit of red wine.
Well,
So I pounded on the Cowboys money line and got excited when I won that and said, you know what? We're either going to go big or go home on this Thanksgiving day, and I ended up taking the Bengals money line. So it ended up being a very nice Thanksgiving for me.
yeah, absolutely. Before we get into football, what everybody knows, turkey's the best part of Thanksgiving. But what is your other favorite dish that you have with your family?
So I'm a big mashed potatoes fan.
Oh,
Uh,
you and I are the
I mean,
same way
I
then.
mean, look at me. I'm not a small guy. I mean, I can eat my fair share of mashed potatoes. Stuffing, I'm always a fan, especially because I'm a fan of it, and this is really the only time of year you're going to eat it. And then for me, cornbread is another one that, yeah, if you can do cornbread right, you can have me eating a lot of food in your house.
Yeah, you would love the mashed potatoes my mom makes. They are flat out just nothing but butter, and they
Uh,
whip it to the point where it's almost like whipped cream. It is
uh,
very well done. And also got a shout out to my grandma's homemade noodles. She makes the noodles herself
oh
the
wow.
night before. Very good. Actually making time to go visit to learn how to make them.
What type of noodles are we talking? Are we talking like just like spaghetti, or are we talking like an Italian direction, an Asian direction? Like which way are we going with the cuisine that we're talking here with the noodles?
So they're about this thick, like
Okay.
from side to side, and they're pretty long. They're
What are you
I would
putting
say
on them?
Irish noodles, and then you just cook them in gravy, pour gravy over them. It's very
Nice.
good. Definitely recommend. I guess I can't recommend them if it's my grandma's recipe,
Yeah,
but
no. Somebody out there we'll have somebody out there try to make Brett's grandma's noodles and gravy while Brett's doing the haka without a shirt on.
the shirt is staying on. But yes, the haka will be coming up very soon. And of
Is it
course, before
coming
we get in,
today?
no, it's not coming today. This is all you're getting.
Oh,
That's all
see,
you're going to
Brett's
get
working
today.
on it.
Yeah,
He's
I am
working
working
on it.
on it. And of course, Jordan, you know this. I do hate to bring this up. There was some sad moments personally over the break. My little sister's best friend and roommate from college sadly passed away on Saturday. She was dealing with lupus. Unfortunately, she needed a kidney transplant. There were complications from it, and she passed away this past Saturday. So Harlow, I know you probably never have listened to my podcast, little sister, but you know, and I saw you yesterday. Just let you know I love you and I'm with you. So just wanted to get that out there for you. But we got our grieving done with that. We are on to talk about some topics aren't going to be fun, but it should be fun for a lot of people. We were going to start with the Dolphins Saints, but because the Egg Bowl is going on now, it's rivalry week in college football, best week of the year. At least it has been for the last 4 years. But so we are going to talk about some of the big rivalry games. Right now, the Egg Bowl is going on. Ole Miss, Mississippi. And Jordan, I believe you just told me, and I don't know if it's finalized yet, but it does sound like Lane Kiffin is about to go to LSU.
Yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth reporting between Florida and LSU and Florida and LSU. I'm pretty sure from what I'm hearing that it's going to be LSU. Um, and yeah, the only thing I think, Brett, and I think you and I have talked about this, that I think will complicate things is if Kalen DeBoer ends up leaving Alabama to go
Which
to.
is also very possible.
If that happens, I would be very, very interested to see if Alabama calls Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
Whether Lane Kiffin accepts the LSU job or the Florida job, whether that happens first. But I'd expect Alabama to call him and see and make him say no. And I don't know. I mean, look, we don't know Lane Kiffin, but we know his track record. And if Alabama came calling, I could see him doing that.
Yeah, I could see it too. Do you think he'll do well at either LSU or Florida? Because I know he's got a good thing going in Ole Miss, but we saw what happened when he went to USC. Now that could just be USC, because really, aside from Pete Carroll, there really hasn't been any sustained success there for a while, despite their history. It's just a different animal because Ole Miss, they think they're great, but they really haven't been great throughout their history. So the pressure is another step up.
I think that Lane Kiffin is a really good football coach. I think Lane Kiffin has matured as a coach. And I think the biggest negative to Lane Kiffin is that we all got to see him kind of go through his early coach, young coach mistakes live and out in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I think,
and let's be clear, when he first became a head coach, he was younger than you and I are now.
Correct. So. And I think that is something that a lot of people forget. And I think that the Lane Kiffin you see now is not only a different animal, but I think that whether it's Florida, LSU, or Alabama, I think Lane Kiffin has an opportunity to really cement himself as one of in the very, very small circle of great college football coaches and top college football coaches in the country.
It's coming, Carpet Dinosaur. Don't worry. It is coming. I am a man of my word. It will be happening.
But when?
Soon. We got to make it right because not only do I not want to look like a complete idiot, it's happening. I said it will happen.
You promised.
I did promise it will happen, but you also got to remember, I got to do it so it's not offensive to a culture.
Fair. Are you practicing?
Yes, I've been looking them up.
Okay.
I've actually been looking it up to make it look like I kind of know what I'm doing. There's a lot of patting your thighs, and I'm not going to do the chant because then I would really offend some people.
You have to do the chant. It's going to be? You can't just silently haka. That's
fair. But as we talk about the haka, because I'm not going to hear the end of this until I actually do this, we will move back to the Egg Bowl. Does the Lane Kiffin noise change anything today for Ole Miss?
No.
I don't think so either because they're making the playoff.
I don't think they're making the playoff. And I think that, look, there's been a couple of things on social media and whatever, but I think that the Lane Kiffin stuff aside, I mean, with the nature of college football, there are a lot of guys that are in that Ole Miss locker room that aren't going to be there next year, whether Lane Kiffin was coming back or not.
Yeah.
Even if Lane Kiffin said that he was coming back to Ole Miss, there's a lot of guys in that locker room. So no matter what, end all be all, this is the last time this group of guys will ever play in the Egg Bowl together. It's a really big game, and the energy around the game is something that even the Lane Kiffin stuff doesn't really take away from. And I think Ole Miss rolls today.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Jeff Lebby's the head coach at Mississippi State.
Hey, I almost put on my UCF hat. And between Jeff Lebby and Alec Golish, we can talk some former UCF coaches.
We can, but the point I was getting at is Mississippi State's been chasing that magic they had with Mike Leach, and Leach was one of a kind. You can't replicate what he does, and I think a lot of Bulldog fans are ready to move on from Lebby already.
I think Lebby got the job too early. I think a lot of UCF fans were surprised when he got that job. I think Mississippi State was trying to create a little of the same magic that they had with Heupel. And no, you did not miss the haka. And I think that Lebby got it a little too soon. And I think that it's going to take him getting fired and either being a coordinator or being a head coach at a lower level. I would like to see him win at a lower level before getting another Power 5 opportunity.
Yeah. No, I would agree there. And I am not stalling.
Not stalling.
You guys are all impatient. You guys are impatient. We are talking college football right now.
Brett,
I
you're gonna do the haka when we're at 3,000 followers at this rate.
No, I am going to do I will do the haka soon. Don't worry. But let's keep going on college football as our producer extraordinaire, who has had his own miserable week because of his soccer team over in the UK. That's all I'm going to say. I don't need to remind him about them.
Brett, and this is not a bit at all, but I kind of want to get you to talk about it. I know nothing about soccer, like literally zero. The only time I really watch soccer is a couple of the Team USA games when they play. One thing I really want to get more into soccer. There's just so many leagues and so much going on that it's a little confusing for me. Can you tell me what happened to Mr. S's team?
I would say pick a team. First of all, I'd say pick a team, pick the league, and just focus on that league first because every league has different styles. So you got to find what you would.
Does the same team play in multiple leagues?
No, there are some other competitions. They just got a new coach. They're struggling right now, but they got a good young coach. So I'm expecting big things. So we will move on.
Does he wear joggers?
No, he does not.
Okay.
But Mr. S did get us
glasses.
No, he doesn't. But we are going to go down the list. We already talked about the Egg Bowl. Mr. S got us a bunch of games to talk about.
We're just going to go down the list. All right, Mr. S. I will say it on air. When we get to 3,000 followers, I will live on air pick a soccer team out of a hat. I will follow that team intently, and I will report on that team every episode.
So what we should do is do it fair and just get the random wheel out and then have it go from there. And then you just pick what the wheel is. But
can I request that we have teams on that wheel that other people are fans of that we know in our circle? So I have somebody I could connect with on the soccer team.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that.
So anybody that's listening, if you have a favorite soccer team that you would like me to potentially follow and be a fan of, please post it below. Mr. S, you can post on social media. If people, let's give it a couple days to simmer, and we can do the wheel on the next episode. Let's give some people some time on X and on Discord to spin a wheel for my favorite soccer team.
That's going to be fun because I'll tell you, with the
fair, this is not a bit. I know nothing about soccer. Yeah, I know the game. I understand the game.
This is off the cuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. College picks, I'm just going to go down the list as Mr. S put them. Next game, we already talked about the Egg Bowl. You got the Battle of Georgia Tech. We have a member of our Discord, Kibo, who is a big Georgia fan. So just to troll him, I am picking Georgia Tech. I don't really have a reason for it other than to get Kibo mad. But a lot of respect for their coach. Brent Key built that out of nothing. He took over for a team that was in transition, going from the triple option to whatever the hell Jeff Collins was trying to do.
Yes.
Jeff Collins. And he built them good. He just got a giant extension. He played at Georgia Tech, so there's heart there. So you have two alums coaching against each other. Georgia's probably going to roll, but just because I want to mess with Kibo, I'm picking Georgia Tech.
I think that Georgia, when you start looking at the college football playoff, there's a little bit of you have Ohio State, you have Indiana at the top. But what's going to happen kind of in that middle range, and what team you always see a team that you're like, oh, it's obvious that team should have been considered a little higher. I mean, Georgia and Alabama are two of the teams that you're going to look at are going to be a very tough matchup for somebody in the second round. I think Georgia takes it to Georgia Tech. I think that Pitt loss at home was crushing for Georgia Tech. That was a game they really needed. It was really important. And they're going to get up for a game against Georgia, but a lot like Pitt didn't take the Notre Dame game that seriously. I can't see Georgia Tech fully being embraced when Georgia's on a path to a possible national championship. So I'm going to take the Bulldogs.
Next game we have is Texas A&M at Texas. Always forget this is a rivalry because A&M was in
Are you
SEC.
reminded because they both say Texas?
Yeah, it was a big rivalry, and it is, but they were in different conferences for so long, you just forget about it. The other reason you forget about it is for so long, the two teams A&M considers the biggest rivals, Texas and Oklahoma, would just destroy them. I believe this is in Austin. I can't see A&M losing.
Yeah, I think that A&M right now, you look at Indiana, you look at Ohio State, they're one of the most underrated number 3 overall undefeated SEC teams that I've ever remembered in my life. Mike Elko's a really good coach. Marcel Reed is a good quarterback. They are physical. They are big and fast
AC
defensively.
Conception is going to be a first-round pick.
Oh yeah, I mean he's one of those guys. Him, Elijah Surratt, and Chris Bell are kind of in that tier of my favorite receivers. We'll talk about that at some point, but Texas A&M beats Archer.
Okay. Next one on the list. The game I'm looking forward to the most.
A&M needs to win that game to make the SEC championship, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Texas A&M by 2 scores.
It is the game, Ohio State at Michigan. Us Michigan fans are calling it the drive for 5 as we go for our 5th straight victory. Ohio State has the 3 best players, not just in this game, but in college football this year, in my opinion. You got Caleb Downs, you got Reese, the linebacker, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick. Both of them are probably going to be top 5 picks. And you got Jeremiah Smith, who's still a year away. I can't pick Ohio State. You already know that. I can't. Michigan's a young team. Bryce Underwood's coming off of his best game. Andrew Marsh, I don't know if you've seen our freshman wide receiver. Going to be a stud. Already is a stud. He's breaking freshman records at Michigan already. Jordan Marshall's going to be back after missing last weekend's game. Derek Moore is an edge rusher people are not talking about. He has 8 sacks in the last month. He's probably not going to get into the first round, but he's a guy I would look at heavily in day 2 if I'm the Dolphins. He's just that kind of player. Ryan Day has a Michigan block. Like, he just messes up when he plays Michigan. The fact that he lost to last year's Michigan team, who had no quarterback, means I will never pick Ohio State to beat Michigan ever again. And Wink Martindale is Michigan's defensive coordinator. He does some crazy stuff all year with the blitzing, but he has a good game plan against Ohio State, and I'm expecting that again. It is in Ann Arbor. It is in the Big House. And something that is not going to be is discussed enough. One of 2 finalists for the Penn State job is Brian Hartline, Miami Dolphins fan favorite, former number 1 receiver, just by default, but had a couple good years there. That could be a distraction. You know, there's a lot of talk that Penn State is going to name their head coach on Tuesday. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But history shows that a potential coaching change can be a distraction for a team. But yeah, I'm going to take Michigan.
Is anybody surprised?
They shouldn't be.
Is there a single person that's listening to this that wanted to know who Brett was going to take in that game? I want to just stop for 1 second because I was listening to you, Brett, but and you know this show's been going on for 3 years, and me and Carpet Dinosaur have had our back and forths. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that has made me laugh recently is the back and forth fighting between Carpet Dinosaur and his wife in our sub chat on YouTube and on X. And please, the comments are great if you want to jump in there with them. And I know they weren't there for our last episode and somebody brought it up, but this is probably one of the funniest comments that Carpet Dinosaur has ever made when you brought up Concepcion on Texas A&M. That was great. I needed to stop. I needed to go back. I needed to reflect on that. Was a really good one. Michigan and Ohio State. So If this game didn't matter for Ohio State, I would be picking Michigan. If Ohio State loses and Oregon wins, Oregon gets in, I believe, to the Big Ten championship game.
Yes.
I think that Michigan has had Ohio State's number. And Brett, I do this every year with some games. While I'm talking it out, I'm still kind of going back and forth. And this is one of those games because in football, motivation is such a factor.
Yep.
But I do think, and again, we're going to make our college football playoff predictions at some point in future episodes. I think that there is a tier above everybody else right now. And I think that tier one is Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. And I think that those three teams are a lot better than everybody else. So I can't see any of those three right now losing to somebody out of their tier. So I'm going to have Ohio State beating Michigan, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very close. I think the points are 9.5.
Yes.
I would be surprised if Ohio State covered, but I would also be surprised if Michigan won.
Yeah. It's going to be a stressful game. We'll see what happens. You might not see me till Sunday. I will just say
But
that.
I will say this in a positive light for Michigan. Michigan's basketball team is very good right now.
Yeah.
They are very
first team to win 3 straight games by 30+ points or something like that.
Yeah, and they were all against, I believe, ranked teams.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But Michigan does have a bright future. But people are probably tired of me talking about Michigan. So we're going to another state rivalry, which is Vanderbilt at Tennessee.
Did you know that they were rivals?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I actually did know that because I believe losing to Vanderbilt is what got Derek Dooley, another former Dolphins assistant, fired when he was the head coach there.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about this game because it is kind of a mental block for Vanderbilt. They are the better team. Chuck Lee just got a huge extension. Chuck Clark, yeah. Lee. Clark Lee. Okay, Clark Lee, yeah.
Is that what it is?
I think it's...
Yeah, Clark Lee.
I am going to throw you in a shredder, Carpet Dinosaur. I'm just telling you this. Like I said, I already know I'm down on the Georgia Tech game. I just wanted that on record so I could mess with Kibo.
It's more important for Brett to mess with Kibo than it is to possibly get a punishment for losing this.
Yeah. But I guess I'll go with Vanderbilt because I think they're the better team. This game weirdly has a Dolphins flavor. We just talked about Dooley as Josh Heupel is the quarterback, the head coach. He's a former Dolphins quarterback. You gotta stop fucking distracting me, Carpet Dinosaur. I'm about to mute you for like 2 seconds. But Vanderbilt will probably win this game, but there's a lot riding on Tennessee. Does Josh Heupel enter the hot seat chat if they lose?
It might. Again, Heupel's another guy like Levy, like Golish, these former UCF guys that I think are getting these jobs, these SEC head coaching jobs, a little too early.
You're on timeout, Carpet Dinosaur.
Look, I have constantly this season bet Vandy. I love Diego Pavia. I think he's a great quarterback. And I also think that he's one of those guys like in that Baker Mayfield, like in that sense of like a Fitzpatrick type guy that will always kind of keep you in games and make plays that'll keep you alive at the end. Tennessee is a very, very physical team. I've seen Vandy struggle in a couple games, especially the Missouri game, and a couple other games where teams haven't put them away that could have put them away. Tennessee will embarrass you if you don't show up. It's another rivalry game. I think it's important for Josh Heupel, like you said, to win this game for his job. Like you said, they are known for firing coaches that lose to Vandy. And there's a lot of movement right now, and you never know. Tennessee may not want to be in it this year, but they might be the belle of the ball next year for jobs that are open. I'm going to pick Tennessee. Close, very close. What's the points? I'm gonna look.
I am not
Tennessee,
sure.
as of now, is a 2.5 point favorite. I think Tennessee wins by 4.
Okay. The next game we have listed is Oregon, Washington. Jed Fish, another name who is being brought up for the Florida job. I think he's done well at Washington. I think he did well at Arizona. I can't see them beating Oregon.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise about Jed Fish. Oregon's really locked in right now. Dan Lanning has those guys playing at a high level and playing disciplined football. And I can't see them losing to Washington here. Washington does have a great environment, so it's going to be a tough place for Oregon to play. But I can't see this Oregon team losing another game, especially when they have a chance to possibly, depending on what happens in the Michigan game, they have a chance to get back and have revenge against Indiana.
Yeah. And let's also, people have not talked about Dante Moore enough. It sounds like he's going back to college, but for all the talk of Simpson and Mendoza, Moore is probably, if not the best of the three, he is very close to it.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are teams next year going into the draft that prefer Moore to Manning.
No, I wouldn't either. I've already seen some people say that if either Manning or Moore came out this year, they'd be the top quarterback taken. I'm not sure about Manning, but I do think Moore. I think he has. I'm not trying to do a pun here. I think he has a lot more to be excited about in his film than the other two do, and that's not taking anything away from either of the other two quarterbacks.
Yeah, and like we said, we'll get into that at some point. So Oregon, all right. Does Auburn have a chance?
They do not. The only chance they have is, well, there's two. One, strange things happen in the Iron Bowl, so you can't take that for what was it? A couple years ago, it was 4th and 36 that Auburn just had to stop to win the game, and Bama got a touchdown.
Was it Milrow?
Yeah. The other thing is, mentioned Hartline as a finalist for the Penn State job. Allegedly, Kalen DeBoer is the Penn State's first choice.
And if Alabama, it's interesting because Alabama's in a position where they're going to put a lot of pressure on that coach, no matter who it is. And if DeBoer wants to go to Penn State, that's going to be interesting. And that the timing of all of it's going to be interesting too. The other part is, and I know it's an assistant coaching job or a head coaching job, but you've seen one of Alabama's offensive coaches just got the Oregon State job.
Yep.
One of their coaches, Womack, was in consideration for another job. I think that job's going to Golesh in Arkansas. Some of their assistant coaches are really starting to put feelers out there, which leads me to believe something actually might be rumbling.
Yeah. I just think Bama's just that much better than Auburn. You can argue that Auburn underachieved. I just don't think they're that good. So there are picks. Mr. S will have the picks out in a little bit on X if you want to see.
Are we doing one more? Are we doing Miami Pitt for people?
Yeah, let's do that. We were going to do Miami Pitt. I originally had it taken out because I'm like, that's not a rivalry. But as Jordan pointed out, we're a Dolphins podcast, so a lot of Dolphins fans are probably also Hurricane fans.
It's funny we forget that because you're not a Hurricane fan. I'm not a Hurricane fan. I would like to say I don't want the game to be picked on here, and it will not count. But I would love to see UCF upset BYU's season, and throw a wrench in there and get ourselves in there.
Yeah.
Shout out to UCF.
From what I've seen of the Hurricanes this year, it depends on if they're going to crystal ball this game, as I like to call it, because he has taken up the mantle of a coach that just does the weirdest shit at the worst times. Pitt has a ceiling. Their freshman quarterback, really good. Just saying this, that all the freshman quarterbacks this year is going to make the next couple years interesting to watch college football. But they have a ceiling. Pat Narduzzi is a very conservative coach. He's Pittsburgh to a T. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Just play defense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. From a talent perspective, the Hurricanes should boat race the Panthers, but it's just all of a question of which Miami team shows up. But I will be the loyal Pennsylvania boy I am and pick the team from my hometown where I was born and take the Pitt Panthers. Also just to piss everybody off because, why not?
A couple things here. Pitt played very well at Georgia Tech last week.
Mm-hmm.
Pitt was, look, the scoreboard said one thing, but it was bad. Pitt played out of their minds. But I think they're coming into a different animal against this Miami team that knows that this game for them might as well be the conference championship. Because if they win this game, then from now until the college football playoff actual bracket is announced, the whole we beat Notre Dame argument can play. And if you make it, honestly, I think if Miami wins this game, I think they deserve to make it as an at-large team over the loser of the Texas Tech BYU game. That's just me. But I think that you look at Miami, if they win this Pitt game, having that argument at least. If Miami loses this Pitt game, they have no argument. It's done. Their season's over. They'll wait to find out what bowl game they play in. Guys will transfer. Canes fans will talk about Mario, and it'll be a brutal start to the offseason. I think the Canes know that. I think they're going to be going into a very tough environment that knows what's on the line in this game, and I think the Hurricanes win. I think the Hurricanes win a relatively close game, but I do think that Miami pulls it out.
All righty. So, yeah, there's our picks. Like I said, Mr. S will put these on Twitter for everybody to look at and probably make fun of me the most, but hey, whatevs. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. Now on to the fun stuff. A game that you are going to.
I am.
The Miami Dolphins, New Orleans Saints. See if the Dolphins can keep the winning streak going. Looking at the Saints injury report, as of yesterday, neither Chris Olave or Alvin Kamara practiced. I'm pretty sure Kamara is confirmed out.
Yeah. Although Kamara is confirmed out, I'm excited to see what Devin Neal looks like. He's a guy that I liked coming out of Kansas. And I think has a chance to be at least a decent running back in a committee at the least. So I do think that although Kamara is out, it'll still be a challenge for the Dolphins defense. But the Dolphins defense has answered the call from that aspect of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Olave, I'm not sure if he's confirmed out or not yet, but if he's there, he's great wide receiver when healthy. Keywords when healthy. Rashid Shaheed is gone, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. This is a very, very bare bones team.
Yes.
Tyler Shuck is starting at quarterback. I never understood why they took him in round 2, but this feels, I hate to say this because we're still a team under 500, but this feels almost like a trap game for us where everything is pointing against the team we're playing against. And for all the issues we have as a team, we are still much more talented than the Saints. Jawan Johnson scares me a bit, especially.
Yes. I think if Olave misses, he has a big game.
Yeah, and we still struggle with the tight ends more than we probably should.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Taysom Hill in this game.
Yeah. I think we're going to win a relatively low-scoring game. I'm going to say 20-17.
I think the Dolphins win by more. Although I think that the line being the 5.5 is a little trappy because I think a lot of people are going to pick the Dolphins. I would be surprised if over 80% of the money wasn't on the Dolphins, which scares me. But I think that coming out of a bye and this team knowing what it needs to do to get to the playoffs, like the season ends if you lose at home to the Saints. Therefore, I don't think the season ends on Sunday. I think the Dolphins win. I think a couple of things will happen. I think number one, we're going to run the ball very well.
Yes.
I think we know that's true. And I think our defense is going to play very well. I don't expect the Saints to score much. You look at some of their past games. I mean, they scored 10 against the Falcons, who, I mean, say what you want. They only scored 17 against the Panthers in a win, 10 against the Rams, 3 against the Bucks, 14. I mean, they had the Patriots game at home where they scored 19. But on the road, here are their scores on the road: 13, 13, 19, 14, 10, 17. So I don't think they score more than 17. I don't know if we score less than 30. So I'm going to go Miami 34, New Orleans 14.
Okay. Something else to watch. You talking about the rushing attack we have. Devin Achane can get his first 1,000-yard season this weekend. Does he do
I
it?
think he gets it.
Okay. What other player aside from Achane needs to step up?
Somebody on the defensive line. I think that there's, whether it's Sealer or Grant, one of the two of them, I think for us to get to the point where we're talking about winning the Jet game, winning the Pittsburgh game, and so on, one of those guys needs to take another step forward. And I look for it to start against the interior of the Saints offensive line. If we can start really getting pressure up the middle, this team has an opportunity to take one more step. What about you?
Well, as Mr. S pointed out, McDaniel seems to think that Austin Jackson and Darren Waller will be available. If Waller's available, I think he gets another touchdown. If he's not, I'll say we do need to get a touchdown for a tight end who have been playing well in Waller's absence. Dulcich has been a sneaky good pickup, not just with what he does when he gets the ball in his hands, and he's been fairly reliable. But I don't know if you've seen any of the videos out there, Jordan. His route running is very underrated to the point where he is sucking in defenders and he is opening up space. So I will say Dulcich if Waller is not playing, and I think Dulcich will get his first touchdown.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Is there anything in you, because for me it's no, and usually it's not no, which worries me a little bit. Is there anything that worries you about this game going into the Saints? Because for me, if I'm really thinking about it, the most important thing in a game like this is I want to see discipline. I want to see us. I don't want to see any delay games. I don't want to see any struggling to get plays in. Okay. Like, I want to see it consistent.
So what worries me, and this is something to Mike's credit, we have gotten better at this year. A little too late, and we could probably argue. The team tends to fall asleep against quote unquote inferior opposition. We saw that.
I just don't think that this team is good enough to do that. And I think coming out of a bye will be a little hungry.
I do agree with that. Until we get a full season or a bigger sample size, I always have the worry that Mike will abandon the run and he will get a little too pass happy. So, like I said, he's gotten better at it. He is stuck to the run game, but that's still always in the back of my mind. And I do think on like games against Washington and against Buffalo, I think there will be more opportunities to take deep shots where there won't be double coverage, and we will have to take advantage of that. But that is always something that I have in the back of my mind, just because that's who Mike's been. And like I said, I will give credit to Mike McDaniel for keeping this team together, which could have been a disastrous season. It already, for many people, can say it is a disastrous season, but the team never quit on him, and he also adjusted. I don't know. Did you see that video I sent you the other day about with all of Achane's touches from last year?
Yes.
And just so everybody knows, like, even if you look from how we ran last year to this year, the scheme is so much different. Last year, we ran so much outside the tackle, so much east-west. It is much more of a north-south running game this year, which makes all the difference. So the ability to adapt is there. And as much as people give Larry Borum shit, he is grading out as an elite run blocker this year.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with this offensive line if Austin Jackson plays on Sunday.
Well, Frank Smith's already come out and said they have not discussed moving Borum to guard. I would like to see them try and move Borum in for Cole Strange, because you just can't. I don't think we're at the point where you're saying where I'm saying I don't think you can bench Larry Borum, and I never thought I'd be at that situation.
Do you think that Larry Borum could take over that Brunskill role like we talked about before? Do you think that could be in the cards?
No, because I think Brunskill has shown he deserves that role. And I don't think you want to change it too much. Unless you all of a sudden want to go and bring 2 offensive linemen in as tight ends.
Oh, maybe that's the plan.
Which honestly, and I like Alec Ingold, he looks a little cooked this year as a fullback. So
7 offensive linemen?
Yeah. No, I said as a fullback. So yeah, just put an offensive lineman back there. Might be worth trying, but I would think if Jackson is ready to play, I would like to see the offensive line be Paul, Jonah, Brewer, Borum, Jackson.
I like it.
So, and as we're going on just over 42 minutes, any other thoughts about the game? Anybody you're looking to connect with while you're down there?
Hey man, anybody that wants to grab a drink, I'm getting there early, man. It's only the second game. I'm used to Brett. There was a probably a decade span, if not more, where I was there every week, no matter what was going on. I was there on Sunday, and now kind of living across the country, being able to come in and go to the game and tailgate and get there early. So I'll be there at about 9 a.m. probably. So if there's anybody out there that's listening or that watches this back before the game and wants to grab a drink, my ex is right there, and reach out.
Yep. Apparently we are 6 Miami Dolphin wins away from Bobby swimming to young Jobs' fountain. They want us to discuss. Good on Bobby. Hopefully he gets the chance to do it.
If he gets to do it, it means something went very right, and that's a good thing.
Yes. And of course, we will close on this, as everybody knows, Mr. S and our social media team, including Donovan and the lovely dog toys, the carpet dinosaurs, and the pizza people, are working on a Miami Dolphins Christmas card. If you're not on it, please just send us a picture on X, and we will look to add it. Well, you didn't spell Joseph, so I have enough issues.
I knew that was coming when he said Jopsa, and I let it go.
What does that say? It does not say Joseph.
Hey, Bobby, you could go to Jopsa's fountain if it's easier.
Look, this one's not my fault. You do not spell Joseph Jopsehh.
Who the fuck is named Jopsa, though? I
don't know. I'm not from the area. I don't know. Bobby kind of sounds Cajun. Maybe it's a New Orleans thing. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's Cajun, but maybe it's just a local thing. I don't know.
I think Bobby's been described a lot of ways. I don't think Cajun is one of them.
Yeah, well, the weekend of football continues. I was going to say start, but there was football yesterday, so I can't say starts. It continues today. There's a Black Friday game for NFL. I will probably not watch it. I will probably, once we log off, go and watch the college football. What about you?
I am actually, Brett, look, this is how my life works. I came in to South Florida a couple days ago. There was a Heat game I was at the other night. Dolphins game, obviously, on Sunday. But there was one South Florida team that I was missing. So right after we get off here, me and my brother are going to go over and see the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions play. I wanted to get out and play golf today. It's actually a really cold day in South Florida. But for some reason, the Panthers are playing at 4:00. So that's not in the cards. And I'm going to go over and go to Amarin Bank and watch some champions play hockey.
Yeah. You talk about cold day. It looks beautiful out here for me. And it's like you walk outside and it's 40-mile-an-hour wind. It's like,
It's
good Lord.
it's cold for South Florida. I
So
didn't
what?
say it was
65,
cold. It's cold.
65 degrees.
It's 60, but feels like 53. That's
Yeah. It's like 35 and feels like 10 here.
fair.
I can have all 4 seasons in a day in Pennsylvania, and anybody from the area knows what I'm talking about. So
You hear this, Brett? Carpet Dinosaur apparently lives close to you. Is Carpet
he
Dinosaur
doesn't.
going to do the haka with you?
You know what? Sure. Bring Carpet Dinosaur. Bring your ass up here, Carpet Dinosaur. You're a state away technically. Bring your ass up here, and I'll do the haka with you.
Okay.
I would not wish that on anybody. No, we are not meeting at an Eagles tailgate.
Brett, on Sunday when I'm at the stadium, you go to Lincoln Financial, even though there will be nobody there, and we'll do a live stream. You from Link and me from here.
I'll just go to the hotel that's right by the stadium. So, alrighty, guys, thank you for joining us. Hope you all enjoyed your time with family and enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, the Dolphins continue the winning for everybody. So, we will be back next week. I think we're going to look more in the draft. Hopefully, we are happy next week. And
Carpet Dinosaur might not be because we'll be picking in the 15 range instead of the 11 range.
True. But we'll keep the good times rolling. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Fins up. Let's get another one.